Hello everyone, welcome to Awesome Life. Hope you're all doing good and being safe. Today we are gonna learn about potatoes. Everything about potatoes from the start to the harvest and maybe a few tips of eating potatoes. Potatoes are something which we grow every single year, and it's such a fun crop. We actually enjoy as a family while harvesting the potatoes. It's such like a kind of a tradition which happens in July. So these are the seed potatoes. So this video was taken last year. The videos where we have to show from the start to the harvest, right? Like, it is like a year long content. So for potatoes, we will the soil base. It's preferred to be a bit more acidic. So what I do is generally, like, I put like regular garden soil, and I did had a bag of peat moss. So like I added a little bit of peat moss and lot of coffee grinds. Coffee grinds, just check with your local coffee shop, and most of the coffee shops, they will be okay to give away the coffee grinds, which they will be putting into trash instead. Like, you can check with them if they're okay. um just collect all those coffee grinds and mix up to your garden bed. That is fantastic, and it's kind of like a free nitrogen. A lot more good stuff is there in the coffee grinds, and the acidity, a slight bit of acidity is also preferred for growing potatoes. So the soil contains garden soil and a little bit of peat moss, since I had it in the coffee grinds. And I definitely put neem powder into any of the root vegetables, especially for the root vegetables. So like a couple of, maybe like 3-4 tablespoons of neem powder, neem cake or neem powder. And I do actually put the volcano rock powder, also rock dust. And compost, homemade compost will be there already, and little bit of cow manure also. Not too much of cow manure, but yeah, little bit of cow manure also. So this is the garden, I mean, this is the soil composition for growing potatoes. A loose soil is always preferred. And then the next thing is, like, how to sow the potatoes, right? Potatoes, like, I we generally leave at least like 6 inches, or actually more than that, like around the potato. Like, we'll try to leave the space so that like the new ones will be developed. And don't I mean, generally it's not preferred to put them too deep. So just like, very gently top of the soil on them. And I actually collect dried leaves every fall. We literally bag up all the leaves and, like, save it for the springtime. Leaves are like free, dried leaves are like a free mulch. We don't need to buy any of the bagged mulch. This is so amazing for growing potatoes, or like, a lot more stuff. um it's fantastic. Like, I just dump a full bag of dried leaves onto this potato bed after sowing the seed potatoes. And then, like, water gently. That's all with the sowing process. And I don't give any liquid feed for this feed, for growing potatoes. There is just plain water. And yes, lab will be there always though. And next would be, like, you'll get the plant up, and then sometimes you'll see the flowers and the potatoes, like, like tiny kind of like a fruit on the top of the on the upper part, like, above the soil. So don't eat those ones, it is very dangerous. And coming to the time when we have to harvest is, like, let the plant brown off, like completely brown off. So that's when, like, your potatoes will be perfectly ready for harvest. So we do sometimes, like, we do plant the potatoes. One more important thing is, potatoes are cold hardy, so you can actually plant the potatoes in April itself. And then, like, it gets ready by July. So when we plant it in April, by May, like, by the time mid of May, like, I could actually see the plant nicely growing. And like, I sometimes we just dig up a little bit and take like a potato, one or two potatoes from the ground for the breakfast. So that's like a fun thing to do. But yeah, the perfect time to harvest these potatoes will be when the plant completely browns off. You literally wouldn't be able to see the plant here, like, most of those browned, and then like they fell off, and that's when we are actually harvesting the potatoes. um One thing, this is my daughter, she is like my partner in gardening. So one thing is, for the potatoes, one important thing is the sunlight shouldn't touch the potatoes in the ground, in the sense, like, try to always cover it up with some sort of mulch or the soil. So that's one important thing. If you happen to see like a green potato, please don't consume it, it's not actually good. Please just discard it or like compost it, right? So potatoes, that's only one thing which I would definitely make sure that like there are no green parts. And these are actually the seed potatoes which we have, which we got it from last year's harvest. So I saved a couple of potatoes from last year's harvest and just put it in a basket and left it in my kitchen, like, one of the closed shelf. And look at this, like, we are doing a full cycle of potatoes. These seed potatoes are from my garden, and of course this is like a bag potato. These are the white ones which I wanted to give it a try. So you could actually, when you have potatoes in the house, excess ones, and if you see the sprouts coming up, these are called the eyes of the potato. And see, like, the plant is actually growing out. Few do cheating, like, chopping, cutting, and like, splitting it across. I don't do it, and I really don't have time or like the energy. So it's just basically you put the whole potato which has ice on it, and that should be good to go. So this is the latest video. So this is the video of this year's planting. We did like a new bed, which is a combination of like garden soil, a little bit of peat moss, and a lot of leaf compost, also leaf mold also, and of course a lot of coffee grinds, thanks to our local coffee shop who are generous to give away the coffee grinds. And then what else, neem powder, um, and cow manure. So these are the things. And of course the potatoes from our garden, which have grown in our garden, like that just feels so amazing. That's it, guys. Growing potatoes is actually, it's actually very easy, in the sense, like, just don't overdo it, that's all. Like, don't put too much of gum in your, don't put too much of water, that that he said. So this is all about potatoes and storage, right? Generally we actually just store it in a cool container. If not, like, we didn't get so much to freeze it. Mostly, like, we gave it away to our friends. I mean, not we gave it away, we shared with our friends. So maybe hopefully this year I should be able to freeze some of the potatoes, and let's see how it goes. So this is about it, the complete process of, the complete process, like from start to harvest, of growing potatoes. Try growing them. Let me know if you have any questions. I will feel more than happy to answer. You all have an awesome life, happy and healthy gardening. If you happen to like this video, hit the like button. That just shows like a cute little motivation. Take care.